I walked into the Apple store in, I don't know what this was, several years ago, maybe 6, 7 years ago. And I had an iPhone X at the time, which I guess would have been the iPhone 10 if you're using Roman numerals. I don't think I ever asked. And I had a crack on the screen going from like top to bottom, vertical crack where I dropped it. And I walk into the store, and this one's inside a mall in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And I just walk up to a girl named April, and I just set the phone down in front of her. And April picks the phone up and she looks at it and says, "Oh, wow, yeah, that's the iPhone X. We've got all the way up to the iPhone 12 out now. So yeah, it's time to replace this thing." So she shows me the 11, she shows me the 12, and then she shows me the 12 Pro, and she's just modeling these phones and showing me the difference between them. And I'm like, well, those are some pretty cool features. Give me a few minutes to think about it. And I walk back out into the hallway of the mall, take a few, kick it around for a second, walk back in, and April is nowhere to be found. Right. So I scan the room, and there's one person open that's not serving a client. It's a portly gentleman with a big red beard. You've seen him before if you've been to an Apple store anywhere in the country, because they all have one. And I walk up to him, and his name's Casey, and I set the phone down in front of Casey, and I expect to hear the exact same thing, right? Casey picks up the phone and he says, "Oh, yeah, we can get that fixed for you in 45 minutes. It's going to cost you about 150 bucks." Oh, okay. Well, now I really have a decision to make, right? So I say, give me a few minutes. Now, I go off by myself to do some thinking. And what I think about is there was some unprofessional salesmanship going on here. In my opinion, both of them were unprofessional salespeople, right? If now I need to have a sit down as a sales trainer with April and find out why she told me that. Now, if she says his old phone was cracked, what happens to a phone that's 3 years old in the Apple world? It stops holding a charge. You got to walk around finding cords everywhere you go. He looks like a guy who's on his phone a lot, which I am. I saw a cracked screen. I'm thinking he needs to replace it. Well, then April and I just need to have a little training, right? Like, you need to show me everything available to me. Now, if she says, "Hey, I'm commissioned, I'm not going to make any money if he just repairs the screen," April's probably got to go, right? But in both cases, both Casey and April, yes, I grew up a big Ninja Turtles fan. That's why I used Casey and April, are both unprofessional, poorly trained salespeople. Because what should they have done? Rhetorically asking. What they should have done was said, "Yeah, we can fix your cracked phone, right? It's going to be about 150 bucks. Or we can take that $150 that you're going to spend anyway on an old phone that probably doesn't hold a charge anymore, and we can put that $150 on this new iPhone 11. But wait, there's more. Have you seen the new iPhone 12 Pro and everything that it's capable of doing?" So what would the professional have done in that case? Every single one of my options available, right? They would have shown me everything available to me. And then, as opposed to like a daytime TV talk show commercial, they would have, as a professional, had a Super Bowl level commercial ready for that iPhone 12 Pro. Song, dance, excitement. They show me the 11, and it's a phone, you get you by. But this one, and the body language comes in, and the tonality, and the yeah, the can't think of the term for it, but the facial reactions come into play, and they really start doing a professional song and dance about how great the top level package is. And then at the end of it all, they push forward these options and they say, "Which one would you like?" or some version of closing, right? But in no way, shape, or form do they show me one thing available to me as if it's the only thing available to me. When I train new technicians, I train 100% on options. Just show 3 options, 5 options, whatever you're more comfortable with. I know like CEO Warrior has legitimate surveys that show through Service Titan that the more options presented, the higher the conversion rate. Like I saw a direct line survey. I'm like, holy crap, I never knew that. So it's hard to argue with that. Obviously, Joe Crisera's training would say the same thing. I think they're at like 6 options now. It feels a little daunting, but I'm guessing they're doing it well because their training is, it's selling off the shelves. So not necessarily the options that I want to talk about this morning. What I wanted to talk about was those people are salespeople. Make no mistake. And with proper professional training, they could be really good salespeople, but they weren't. And if you ask them if they're salesmen, they would probably scoff at you and say, "Oh, I'm not a salesman." Well, they are. They're just very poorly trained salespeople. And what we want to be is very professionally trained salespeople. Whether you're getting that in your morning meeting, getting it on stuff like this, listening to the right Waste No Day podcast, reading the right audiobooks or books, or going out yourself and paying for training, which you should be doing if you consider yourself a professional. Let that sink in for a second for everybody on here who doesn't spend any money whatsoever developing themselves. It's the only profession in the world that I know of where we assume we should pay no money, invest no money in ourselves to learn our trade. But I disagree. In some way, shape, or form, you should be investing and getting better and more professional as a salesperson.